What's up, guys? It's your boy AlmightySkyDxddy back with a new Naruto What If series. Reborn in Naruto. Evil MC possess suppress Naruto's dark side. Part 1. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video, share, and leave a comment. This really helps with the algorithm. Remember to check out the author of this fantastic fanfic. Link in the description. Also, I have set up a Patreon account. Consider joining to support the channel and for more exclusive content. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. Ding. Congratulations to the host on a successful transmigration. Searching for the target to take control. Warning. Warning. The host's soul strength is too weak, and the takeover has failed. System-assisted intervention. Successful intervention. The host has successfully taken control of the suppressed negative personality. Checking host condition. System adapting to the transformation. In the midst of grey darkness, Fengsu was abruptly awakened by a chilling mechanical voice. What's happening to me? He surveyed the surrounding darkness, his face reflecting utter confusion. Wasn't I just sitting on the toilet, writing a movie review for the latest Naruto film? How did I end up in this pitch-black place? And was that transmigration the mechanical voice mentioned earlier? The mere thought of it ignited a spark of excitement within Fengsu. Is it the system? The standard cheat for transmigrators? Fengsu, filled with disbelief, promptly stood up and surveyed his unfamiliar surroundings. Yet, all he could perceive was impenetrable darkness, leaving him clueless about his current location. Just as he was about to inquire about the suspected system and its mechanical voice, a piercing pain struck his mind, as if a steel needle were stirring inside his brain. In the wake of this agony, a flurry of fragmented memories began to flash before his eyes. He witnessed an orphan child of Konoha, deprived of parents, enduring exclusion and the disdainful gaze of villagers each day. Being labeled a monster, enduring relentless insults, and confronting hunger, resorting to foraging for wild vegetables and fishing. These rapid bursts of memories made Fengsu feel as if he were truly experiencing those moments, as if they were his own personal journey. A wave of negative emotions surged through him, twisting his face into a hideous, maddened expression. Gradually, he managed to regain his composure and subdue the storm raging within him. I never imagined that I would find myself in the world of Naruto. And I've even taken control of Naruto's corrupted personality through this system. The earlier mechanical voice and the additional memories provided Fengsu, the transmigrator, with instant clarity regarding his current circumstances. He had become the corrupted personality that was deeply buried within Naruto's consciousness, subdued by the overwhelming power of Asura chakra, reduced to a state of extreme frailty. This personality lacked reasoning, existing solely as a vessel of accumulated emotions. It was this weakened state that allowed Fengsu, with his feeble spirit, to seize control. Considering the narrative arc of the Naruto storyline, appearances of the corrupted personality due to Naruto's rampages were rare. Note if someone is still confused, the corrupted personality here is referring to when Naruto loses control. Whenever it emerged, it would unleash mindless destruction, akin to a wild beast, devoid of coherent thought or intelligence. It did not dominate the body as the primary personality would, but rather act under the influence of overwhelming negative emotions. Paired with the positive and optimistic primary personality and the double suppression of Asura chakra, it was banished to the deepest recesses of consciousness, with no chance of resurfacing. But now, everything had changed. The thoughtless, corrupted personality was no more. In his place resided the soul of a 21st century transmigrator, armed with a system. Since Naruto burdened me with all these negative emotions, thrusting upon me the role of the corrupted personality, Fengsu muttered with a smile on his face, his eyes radiating an unsettling chill. I suppose it's only fair for me to embrace the life of a villain for you. Despite the smile, Fengsu's words carried an eerie determination. He was no longer the Naruto who had been manipulated by the third Hokage and influenced by Asura's chakra. After experiencing Naruto's suffocating existence from childhood to adulthood, Fengsu had grown repulsed and disillusioned by Naruto's incessant desire to please everyone. Repay grievances with virtue. When will virtue be repaid then? The world inflicts sorrow upon me, and I shall return it with pain. Let them face the consequences of their actions. With these thoughts raging within him, Fengsu firmly believed that Naruto's positive personality, with its twisted values, was unworthy of being the main personality. Author note. These ideas are purely fictional and intended for entertainment purposes. In real life, one should strive to be truthful, kind, and uphold positive values. As if sensing the storm brewing in Fengsu's heart, the mechanical voice resounded once again. System adaptation and upgrade completed. The corrupted personality system has been successfully activated. Host: Fengzhu corruption value. 0 primary personality dependence trust value. 0% primary ninjutsu. Beginner level transformation jutsu system description. This system is designed to assist the host in becoming stronger and to aid in the host's dominance over the body, becoming the primary personality. Fengzhu pondered these words, taking note of the panel that materialized before him, accompanied by the hum of machinery. Instead of expressing surprise, he focused on the 2 values displayed at the end. Corruption value. Primary personality dependence trust value. System, could you explain the significance of these values? Fengzhu inquired, seeking further understanding. Responding to his query, the mechanical voice of the system explained in a more conversational tone. The corruption value reflects the intensity of emotions displayed by the primary personality. The greater the emotional fluctuations, the higher the corruption value. Different levels of corruption value can be utilized to unlock and learn ninjutsu of varying difficulty. The primary personality's dependence trust value represents the combined measure of their reliance on and trust in the host. The higher the value, the weaker the host's consciousness becomes, allowing for stronger control over the body. Please note that once the value reaches 10%, you can engage in dialogue with the primary personality at any time, even without significant emotional fluctuations. At 20%, you will be able to perceive external sounds within the conscious space, and at 30%, you will be able to see external images. At 50%, you can initiate personality switches, but resistance from the primary personality may result in a decrease in trust. When the value reaches 80%, you will become the primary personality, and the primary personality will become secondary. Once the value reaches 100%, you will become the sole personality, leading to the complete disappearance or separation of any subpersonalities. Please note that the host can independently master all abilities possessed by the primary personality without any dependence. Furthermore, the primary personality cannot control or access the host's abilities without consent, and these abilities cannot be shared or mastered by other personalities. Upon hearing the system's explanation, Fengzhu connected the dots, gaining a deeper understanding of the significance behind these 2 values. One value represented his path to becoming stronger, while the other symbolized his journey toward becoming the dominant personality. In response to the system's final comment, Fengzhu could only offer a single reply. System, amazing. The praise system also replied with a mechanical voice. Everything is for the host's service. Just when Fengzhu was about to ask something, a flood of negative emotions suddenly swarmed in, causing Fengzhu to generate endless anger and killing intent out of thin air. At the same time, the blackening value on the system panel also jumped rapidly. Blackening value plus 10, blackening value plus 5, blackening value plus 20. Just when the blackening value jumped to 120, the negative emotions that swept through Fengzhu's heart finally dissipated. Fengzhu also panted slightly, frowning in thought. Could it be the time when Naruto went berserk for the first time and thrashed Mizuki violently with the Shadow Clone Jutsu? No, if that's the case, there should be an extra Shadow Clone Jutsu on the ability panel. Before Fengzhu finished thinking, the originally dark surroundings began to brighten rapidly, as if floating from the dark depths of the sea. His blurry figure appeared outside. A scene appeared in front of him, a lowly figure wearing goggles and sitting on a swing with his head in his arms. That's Naruto. Outside Konoha Ninja's school, Naruto, holding his head, was sitting on the swing with a gloomy expression under the rays of the setting sun. His small body looked lonely and forlorn, with his shadow stretching out on the ground. In the distance, students and parents were gradually dispersing to go home. Even though he had come a long way, Naruto could still hear snippets of conversation. Don't get too close to that monster at school. I'm about to graduate, why hasn't this monster dropped out of school? I really hope this monster dies soon. I heard that this monster has spent the afternoon on Hokage Rock. It's really disgusting and repulsive. Whispers and curses like these were muttered behind his back. Naruto, sitting on the swing, buried his head even deeper. Pain, confusion, and bewilderment were etched on his face. He couldn't comprehend why he was despised and isolated by everyone, from childhood to adulthood. Even if people scolded him, they made sure to do it behind his back, avoiding any superficial connection with him. But these emotions came and went quickly, suppressed and concealed deep within his heart. It was as if an invisible person dwelled within him, silently bearing the weight of his painful emotions. In the depths of his consciousness, Naruto drowned in the dark seas of the past, ensuring he had enough emotions to face life with positivity and optimism. With such thoughts in mind, Naruto quickly transitioned from a state of despair to being filled with energy. The sadness and pain he had experienced earlier sank into the deepest recesses of his heart. Clenching his fists, he shouted with determination at the receding crowd, whose backs were no longer visible. I will definitely become Hokage. Then I'll make all of you acknowledge me. However, the crowd had already dispersed, and no one responded to Naruto's declaration. After shouting, Naruto's attention shifted to the school gate. Why hasn't Mr. Iruka shown up? Didn't he say he would punish me by making me clean Hokage Rock? Could it be that I made him angry by using the transformation jutsu in the afternoon? Since the ninja graduation exam was scheduled for the next day, Iruka had conducted a pre-exam ninjutsu test. Naruto, who struggled with physical skills, attempted to use the transformation jutsu to bypass the test. As a result, Iruka had a nosebleed on the spot, leaving him bowed down for a long time, unable to stand upright. It's just as well that he hasn't shown up. I'm too lazy to inform the janitor. Although Naruto spoke those words, disappointment was evident on his face. Deep down, he yearned for attention and care, even if it wasn't always positive. It was better than being ignored, isolated, and subjected to whispers and curses behind his back. In Naruto's limited understanding, he believed that his tricks could attract the care and attention of others, even if it wasn't genuine. With this in mind, he turned his attention back to leaving, ready to move on. However, Feng Zhu, observing Naruto, furrowed his brow and pondered. Just being cursed and abused by the villagers behind his back allowed me to temporarily leave from the depths of his consciousness. Feng Zhu had initially expected Naruto's emotions to fluctuate violently before any release could occur. Yet, it seemed that even with just a hint of negative emotions, Naruto's stability returned. If that's the case, Feng Zhu gazed at the surrounding void and called out, "System, I want to take control." Personality switching ding. The negative emotions of the main personality are not enough, and the host switching failed. Despite the failed attempt at switching, Feng Zhu wasn't disheartened. It appeared that he had only gained temporary access to the outside world, and the ability to communicate with Naruto. In terms of dialogue authority, Feng Zhu once again focused his attention on Naruto. Punished by Iruka to clean Hokage Rock, and use the transformation jutsu. Naruto had never cleaned graffiti from Hokage Rock. Combined with the usage of the transformation jutsu on Iruka, Feng Zhu could deduce the specific timeline. It must be during the early stages of the original anime's plot. Tomorrow night, Naruto will attempt to steal the Forbidden Scroll and run away for the first time. The furrowed brows of Feng Zhu gradually eased, replaced by a smile at the corner of his mouth. The timing was perfect. It wasn't too early, ensuring he didn't have to wait too long, and it wasn't too late to miss the opportunity. At this moment, Naruto didn't have many friends to rely on or trust. It was an opportune time for Feng Zhu to make his presence known. After all, Naruto is me, and I am Naruto. If he can't trust or rely on me, then who else? Putting aside the smile on his face, Feng Zhu had no intention of wasting any more time. Naruto's emotions had stabilized for now, and it wouldn't be long before he retreated back into the depths of his consciousness. Therefore, Feng Zhu needed to reveal his existence to Naruto swiftly, letting him know that he wasn't alone, and providing an explanation for the disappearance of those negative emotions. With Naruto's compassionate nature, he would surely feel guilty once he learned the truth. It was through this guilt that Feng Zhu believed he could gain temporary initiative in their conversation. With these thoughts in mind, Feng Zhu raised his hand to touch Naruto before him, and he called out aloud, "Uzumaki Naruto." In the outside world, Naruto stood up, preparing to leave, when suddenly a voice echoed in his mind. The voice carried a sense of familiarity, causing him to halt and turn around. "Who's calling me?" However, as soon as Naruto shouted, his expression shifted to one of puzzlement. The voice he had just heard sounded exactly like his own voice, matching its volume precisely. The idea startled him, and he quickly shook his head, attempting to dismiss the unsettling thought from his mind. But the more he tried to push the idea out of his mind, the more it took root and persisted. Eventually, Naruto couldn't resist the urge and whispered his own name, hoping to draw a comparison. "Uzumaki Naruto." Before Naruto could think, the voice in his head spoke again. "Yes." Hearing the response, Naruto's expression instantly changed from doubt to panic. In an instant, there was a deafening scream and the sound of footsteps galloping away. "Ah, there's a ghost." Feng Zhu. Watching Naruto run away in fear and distress, Feng Zhu couldn't help but feel exasperated. "I'm not a ghost. I exist in your mind. I am you, Uzumaki Naruto." In my head, Naruto's expression became even more frightened. The screams grew louder, reaching a new level of intensity. "Help. Third Hokage. Teacher Iruka. Anyone. I've been possessed by ghosts." Feng Zhu. "No. Forget it. Let him experience it firsthand." Feng Zhu couldn't be bothered to deal with Naruto's fear of ghosts. He decided to directly access his authority and transfer some memories to the past. Outside, Naruto's running abruptly came to a halt. A surge of negative emotions, along with dark and painful memories, flooded into his mind, engulfing him completely. His face contorted and twisted, his eyes filled with boundless resentment. These memories and emotions surged through him rapidly. In less than a breath, Naruto returned to his normal state. The pain and darkness receded, remaining on Feng Zhu's side. Feng Zhu's voice echoed once again. I am the personality that carries these painful memories on your behalf. Do you understand now? Due to the overwhelming emotions and memories, Feng Zhu's tone turned as cold as a frigid wind, sending a shiver down Naruto's spine. Naruto had witnessed this chilling tone in others before. He suddenly gasped heavily, his expression gloomy. I see. And I'm sorry, for a long time, Naruto had sensed something or someone helping him bear those memories and emotions. So he quickly accepted the presence of another personality within himself. Upon accepting it, a wave of guilt and remorse washed over Naruto's face. I won't let you bear this alone in the future. I'll help you share the pain and support you. How will you help? Feng Zhu sneered and interrupted Naruto's words. Let me be the dominant personality while you bear the role of the subordinate personality. Upon hearing Feng Zhu's rhetorical question, Naruto fell into silence, unable to provide an answer. Based on the memories that were just transferred, it was evident that a separate personality was necessary to bear those painful memories. The thought of enduring the torment of those dark and abyss-like pasts made Naruto flinch. And Naruto couldn't bring himself to hand over his body to Feng Zhu. He felt the resentment and anger emanating from those memories, the desire to destroy everything. Although he had experienced these emotions himself, the idea of relinquishing control to the second personality in his mind terrified him. Deep in thought, Naruto felt a complex tangle of emotions. He also had mixed feelings about this sudden revelation, and was unsure how to navigate the situation. Feng Zhu, understanding Naruto's current thoughts, felt satisfied with his guilt. While he had the assistance of the system to block the authority on his side, Naruto did not. For now, the situation was working in Feng Zhu's favor. He intended to explain and dispel Naruto's concerns one by one, in order to gain initial trust. Afterward, he would find a way to increase Naruto's trust and dependence to a level where they could communicate freely at least 10%. With this in mind, Feng Zhu's tone softened, dissipating the previous coldness. Naruto, I don't intend to compete with you for control of your body right now, Feng Zhu spoke earnestly. Do you remember what I said earlier? We are one and the same, interconnected and sharing a common interest. If we distrust and fight against each other, it will only bring suffering to this body. By cooperating and working together, we can both benefit, and I can bear some of the burden of those memories and emotions. Feng Zhu's words rang true, emphasizing the importance of cooperation and understanding. And remember, you are the primary personality. Even if I temporarily assume control of the body, you can reclaim it at any time, Feng Zhu continued. Moreover, my very existence is meant to shoulder those painful memories and emotions. Every word Feng Zhu spoke carried weight and sincerity. However, he chose not to reveal the full truth, and left many details undisclosed. He didn't want to seize control of Naruto's body just yet. Instead, his immediate goal was to establish trust and dependence. The moment to assert dominance would come later. The primary reason for his existence was rather straightforward. The Asura chakra had forcefully guided Naruto along the path of the Child of Destiny. Naturally, the suppressed emotions and memories would give rise to a new consciousness. Feng Zhu was that consciousness. While explaining, Feng Zhu also granted Naruto some access to his feelings, allowing him to sense whether the other was telling the truth or not. In response, Naruto's previously gloomy and anxious expression transformed into one of joy and excitement. So, that's how it is. From now on, we'll be friends. Naruto exclaimed, his voice full of childlike enthusiasm. I'll even let you come out secretly to have some fun, as long as you promise not to hurt anyone. As Naruto spoke, the system sent a message. Main personality dependence trust value. 21%, 21% already. Feng Zhu was surprised by the system's message. He noticed that the previously dim and sinking consciousness space had regained its brightness, and the faint sense of terror had momentarily dissipated. Hint. Acquiring initial trust can be simple and exaggerated, but it's also prone to backsliding. For instance, if the host does something contradictory to the primary personality's will, the trust value may plummet to 0% in an instant. Remember, it's not just about trust, the host's personality also requires dependence. Accumulating trust alone to reach 100% is a lengthy and unlikely process. Feng Zhu understood the system's message immediately. The initial stages were ideal for bolstering trust and dependence, but these gains could be easily lost. It wasn't enough to focus on one aspect, both trust and dependence needed attention. What's this 21%? Naruto asked, curious about Naruto number 2's statement. Despite Feng Zhu's previous exclamation being barely audible, Naruto could hear it clearly. It was the voice inside his head. I'm calculating the odds of something favorable I planned for you, and the success rate is 21%, Naruto no. 2 explained. By the way, please don't call me Naruto number 2. I've given myself a new name. Uzumaki Case. Initially, Feng Zhu had no intention of interfering with the original plot. However, when it came to the people Naruto trusted, the fewer individuals involved, the better. He needed to find a way to sideline Iruka. Like a breeze, huh? Naruto nodded like a little adult. 1. As expected of another me, I'm so educated and smart. 1. Case can be translated as wind. The literal Chinese translation of the name would be whirlpool, wind, void or something. After complimenting himself, he immediately turned around and asked about Kaze's plan. Something favorable for us? Naruto asked eagerly. Kaze, do you have a way to make me become Hokage or make everyone in the village like me? That was the best outcome Naruto could imagine. Kaze remained silent for a moment and then replied, you think highly of me, but I don't possess that ability. Major personality trust dependency value. 11%. Kaze's lips twitched. What I meant by something good was to help you pass the graduation exam at the ninja school. The exam will test your ninjutsu skills. Do you think you can pass it and become a ninja? Major personality trust dependency value. 30%. Help me pass the graduation exam, Naruto exclaimed, jumping up in excitement. Kaze almost forgot about this matter. That Naruto had been attempting it for 2 years already. Now, Naruto was in the same grade as Sasuke, who entered the school 2 years later than him. Author note: at the beginning of the comic, Naruto failed the graduation exam twice. It can be understood that he entered the school at the age of 4. Sure, Kaze replied confidently. After all, he was a traveler who knew the plot's direction. First, find a cleaning tool and clean the Hokage rock. I'll explain the details on the way. Considering the time, Iruka should be arriving soon. Okay, I'll go find it right away. Naruto happily exclaimed. Cleaning up was the last thing on Naruto's mind. He was eager to know how he could pass the exam and become a respected ninja. Elsewhere, he actually took the initiative to clean up to make up for his mistakes. Naruto, you've truly grown up. It makes your teacher so proud. Iruka, squatting next to the Hokage rock, had tears in his eyes. He had been held up by Mizuki, who was asking about Naruto's situation, which caused a delay. Iruka had expected Naruto to sneak out and continue causing trouble. To his surprise, Naruto took the initiative to clean the Hokage rock. It was incredible. Even the mischievous Naruto seemed to have genuinely repented. Did this mean that his teaching skills were improving, and that he had the potential to be the headmaster of the ninja school? Next year, he would mention his teaching title, and the third Hokage should agree, right? The more Iruka thought about it, the more excited he became. He couldn't help but burst into laughter. Naruto, seeing Iruka laughing and crying, didn't pay much attention. He just wanted to finish cleaning quickly and find Mr. Mizuki to ask for help in stealing the sealed book. In Iruka's daydreaming of a perfect future, he found Naruto particularly endearing at that moment. He said with a hint of amusement, Naruto, as a reward for your improvement, I'll treat you to ramen after we finish cleaning. You can eat as much as you want, until you feel like throwing up. Ramen. Naruto exclaimed in surprise. Though it wasn't expensive, it was a luxury he couldn't often afford as a recipient of relief food. But his surprise soon turned into hesitation and conflict. After a long pause, he reluctantly declined, saying, no need, I'm going to find Grandpa Third Hokage after I finish cleaning. These were the lines Kaze had prepared in advance for Naruto. Naruto didn't have time to enjoy ramen until nighttime, as he had to find the third Hokage while Mizuki was still at school. Otherwise, it would be difficult to discreetly inquire about the sealed book once Mizuki returned home and attracted unnecessary attention. Is that so? Iruka understood the special relationship between Naruto and the third Hokage, so he didn't press further. However, seeing Naruto's conflicted expression, he added with a hint of amusement, if not today, then tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then the day after. Teacher promised you ramen, so I will definitely treat you to it. Upon hearing Iruka's words, Naruto's eyes lit up again. He danced with joy and exclaimed, long live Teacher Iruka. Within the consciousness space, Kaze didn't interrupt or interfere with the conversation between Iruka and Naruto outside. After all, the plan had been set in motion for Naruto. At best, Iruka was just a better teacher for Naruto, but he wouldn't play as significant a role as Naruto's father. Kaze, being aware of the plot's direction, was more interested in the ninjutsu that could be unlocked with the blackening value. Assert chakra blackening value. 3,000,009 tails chakra blackening value. 100,000 Iruka chakra blackening value. 100. There were only a few options available for unlocking. These were all collected by the system after Naruto had close contact with them. To unlock them, the blackening value had to be spent not just for the chakra, but also for the accompanying ninjutsu. It seems I can only exchange for Iruka's power at the moment, Kei's muttered, observing his meager blackening value of 120 with a frown. To be honest, he didn't want to squander the blackening value on exchanges. After all, Naruto had already learned the multiple shadow clone technique, and his strength surpassed Iruka's. Moreover, Kei's himself possessed formidable abilities and wasn't an ordinary ninja. However, considering the altered plot of stealing the sealed book, he needed to make some preparations and acquire additional strength to handle it. Despite the third Hokage's arrangement of Anbu protection, occasional surveillance through a telescope made it clear that relying on others was not the best idea. Self-reliance was the safest approach. System, can I exchange for a single ninjutsu under a specific chakra category? Kei's inquired. The system didn't respond verbally, but presented the exchange list on the display. Assert Chakra Sage of 6 Paths Mode. 2 million would release ninjutsu. 600,000 superior cage level physical technique. 180,000 Sage Transformation. 200,000 Fast Wind Pill. 5,000 Wind Release Ninjutsu. 2,000 Nine Tails Chakra Yin 9 Tails. 50,000 Yang 9 Tails. 50,000 One Tail Chakra Mode. 2,000 Two Tails Chakra Mode. 8,000 Three Tails Chakra Mode. 14,000 Eight Tails Chakra Mode. 44,000 Iruka's Chakra Ninjutsu. 53 Body TECHNIQUE1. 10 Diverse Ninjutsu. 40 Kei's lips twitched as he looked at the detailed list. He couldn't afford any of them. Even the least expensive options required tens of thousands of blackening points, which was beyond Kei's current resources. However, as Kei scanned through the list, his eyes caught Iruka's physical technique, which only required 50 blackening points for exchange. A spark of realization ignited within him. Chunin-level ninjas typically relied more on physical techniques, rather than extensive ninjutsu knowledge and large chakra reserves. They often focused on practical skills like taijutsu, as well as weapons such as hidden blades and explosive tags. System, if I exchange for a Chunin-level physical technique, can I stack it with other Chunin-level physical techniques from different individuals? Kei's asked. The host can stack the powers acquired from exchanging the same skill from different individuals. For example, continuous accumulation of middle-level physical techniques can be upgraded to upper-level physical techniques. However, the cost will be significantly higher than directly exchanging for a new technique. Please consider this carefully before making a decision. It's possible to stack the powers. Kei's eyes lit up with excitement. Taijutsu was a practical skill that every ninja knew and frequently utilized. In this case, he could exchange for all the physical techniques he came across. This approach seemed more practical and efficient than exchanging multiple ninjutsu, especially considering his plans for utilizing the 8 Gates formation. I'll focus on exchanging taijutsu for now, and save up blackening points for more powerful ninjutsu exchanges, Kei's decided, formulating a plan for his future development. However, he chose not to make any immediate changes, and opted to save the blackening points for later. Outside, Naruto diligently cleaned Hokage Rock, eager to complete the task as quickly as possible. After bidding farewell to Iruka, Naruto returned to the ninja school. And luck was on his side. He coincidentally encountered Mizuki, who was wandering around the school, asking other teachers about something. Oh, Naruto, right. I know you, the mischievous troublemaker in Iruka's class. Did you come here looking for me? Naruto confronted Mizuki, who smiled but had various thoughts in his eyes. Teacher Mizuki, can you tell me about the sealed book? As soon as Naruto finished speaking, Mizuki's expression changed. The smile on the corner of his mouth vanished, and he stared at Naruto sullenly. Had his plan been exposed? Seeing Mizuki's expression, Naruto felt a little scared. He recalled what Kei's had taught him and tried to defuse the situation. Teacher, please don't be angry. I overheard you talking about it when you were chatting with others. You mentioned that the book contains powerful ninjutsu. I just wanted to learn it so I can graduate from school. Upon hearing Naruto's explanation, Mizuki realized his reaction had been too strong, and quickly put on a smile again. Observing Naruto, who had failed to graduate twice before him, an idea suddenly sparked in Mizuki's mind. I apologize, I was overly aggressive just now. After all, the sealed book is a treasure of our village. However, if you learn the ninjutsu written in it, it will be much easier for you to graduate from school. Mizuki disclosed the location he had investigated, while implanting the idea in Naruto's mind that learning the ninjutsu would guarantee his graduation. Naruto followed Kei's plan and revealed to Mizuki his intention to steal the book if he failed the exam the next day. This made Mizuki's smile broaden, and he spoke in a more familiar tone. He intended to kill Naruto and steal the sealed book. Once Naruto was gone, Mizuki might be able to release the demon fox that had been sealed away 12 years ago. At that point, no one would have time to focus on him. He could escape safely with the sealed book. Just as Naruto and Mizuki were together, inside the Hokage office in Konoha Center, Hiruzen Sarutobi, with a cigarette in hand, stared intently at the crystal ball on the table. The telescope art. This technique allowed him to perform long-distance viewing by focusing on a person's chakra. However, its range was limited to the size of the entire Konoha village. Surprisingly, Naruto noticed Mizuki's petty actions. Mizuki truly is incompetent. Hiruzen was well aware of Mizuki's recent inquiries about the sealed book, but it didn't concern him much. Mizuki was just an ordinary chunin who couldn't make a significant impact. No matter how troublesome the situation might become, it wouldn't escalate. However, this was an opportunity for Hiruzen to test Naruto and introduce him to the ninjutsu Kushina excelled in. After all, Naruto was the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, a formidable weapon. Having taught and raised him for so long, Hiruzen couldn't let him go to waste. And as the grandfather who loved Naruto the most, he believed it necessary to discipline him afterwards, allowing Naruto to truly understand his love. In the darkness behind Hiruzen Sarutobi, an Anbu operative was hiding. Seeing Hiruzen's stern expression as he looked into the crystal ball, the Anbu operative emerged and spoke in a low voice, "Master Hokage, should we eliminate him?" Konoha was like a grand tree, and if there was a problem with one of its branches, it needed to be cut off. Sarutobi Hiruzen removed the cigarette from his mouth and shook his head. "No, just have the Anbu keep an eye on him. By the way, find someone to fetch me a blank scroll." He planned to create a fake sealed book, with the shadow clone jutsu, imitating its contents. With Naruto's Uzumaki clan heritage, he would be able to learn from it effortlessly, just like his mother. Upon receiving the order, the Anbu operative replied affirmatively and disappeared in an instant. Naruto, having separated from Mizuki, swiftly moved across the rooftops, his footsteps resonating with a booming sound. Amidst his journey, he couldn't help but let out gleeful laughter. This, however, provoked curses from the villagers residing in the houses below, especially when they saw that it was Naruto. Poking their heads out, the intensity of their scolding intensified. Only when Naruto returned home did the echoes of those scolding voices fade away. Blackening value +1, blackening value +2. Current blackening value 320. As he entered his home and lay down on his bed, the smile on Naruto's face disappeared instantly. "Kase, when should we leave tonight?" Indeed, stealing anything the next day would be a deception aimed at Mizuki. By doing so, Iruka would be unable to participate in the plan. Moreover, Kase was certain that the conversation between Naruto and Mizuki had been monitored by the third Hokage. Letting Naruto act that night would serve as a test to determine if he could locate the genuine sealed book. After all, the Flying Thunder God technique, the incomplete reanimation jutsu, and the Reaper Death Seal were all highly desirable. "No rush, let's continue causing some trouble outside, then we can go steal the sealed book," Kase responded according to the plan. Naruto's face displayed confusion and resistance. "Huh? Didn't we just return from that? I don't want to hear them scolding me again. It feels awful," he added. Kase understood that this opportunity to gather 200 blackening points had to be seized and wouldn't allow it to slip away easily. Perhaps a few more incidents could accumulate 2,000 points, enabling the activation of the one-tail chakra mode. Regarding the original 9 tails sealed within Naruto, Kase had no intention of engaging with it. As he was not the dominant personality, he feared that the 9 tails might attack his soul. Neither Minato nor Kushina's chakra would likely step in to protect him. Alright, you're correct. I'll leave after I have a bowl of instant noodles," Naruto agreed. He proceeded to boil water for his instant noodles, and took out half a carton of milk from the refrigerator. Through Naruto's eyes, Kase could clearly see that the expiration dates on these items had long passed. Damn, ignorant villagers. They only directed their frustrations at innocent children. The memories of stomach pain and diarrhea after eating expired food remained fresh in Kase's mind. He immediately intervened, saying, "Don't eat expired food, this body belongs to me too. You still have some money, go and eat it at Chiraku Ramen." Naruto hesitated, "But I don't have much money left, and I still have half a month to go. And these things may not necessarily be bad. I've eaten them many times without experiencing any stomach pain." Before Naruto could finish his sentence, Kase interrupted him. "Don't worry about the money. I'll figure something out. Just go and get some ramen now, immediately." Kase was relieved when Naruto, who had always been treated kindly by the owner of Ichiraku Ramen, listened obediently. He knew that the owner would never serve Naruto expired food. Kei's didn't want to experience stomach cramps and diarrhea again either. Yeah. Naruto nodded happily and rushed out the door. In addition to the third Hokage, Naruto felt that he had someone else he could rely on now. Trust value of primary personality. 31 After enjoying his bowl of ramen, Naruto followed Kei's instructions and headed to the stores where he usually bought expired food. However, this time he didn't do anything. Instead, he brought a small chair and sat near the entrance, engaging in conversations with passers-by. He complained about how well the store owner treated him, how the owner gave him free items and sponsorships, and so on. He presented it as the truth, causing everyone passing by to glare at the store owner and swear never to visit again. The store owner, naturally furious at Naruto's behavior, cursed and even attempted to hit Naruto with a nearby object. But Naruto, possessing ninja abilities, wasn't afraid of an ordinary shopkeeper. He dodged the attacks, simultaneously exaggerating his cries of pain and distress mockingly, fueling the anger of the onlookers. Under the influence of various emotions, Kei's accumulated an additional 400 points of blackening value. This experience made Kei's realize that inflicting sadness and pain wasn't the only way to increase the blackening value. Provoking anger, resentment, and disgust could be just as effective. The joy of seeking revenge through Naruto could also be considered a source of blackening value. However, when he was content and happy, there was no room for such blackening value. Main personality trust dependency value. 33 Current amount of blackening value. 720 The amount of blackening value was still insufficient for an exchange. Kei's had no intention of wasting any more time. He addressed Naruto, who had the desire for revenge against the shop owner. Naruto, it's time to take action. Within the Sarutobi clan mansion, Hiruzen Sarutobi observed the crystal ball with great interest. This Naruto is truly fascinating and commendable. After causing such a ruckus, it is evident that this shop will face difficulties in its future operations. He greatly admired Naruto's actions and was well aware that the shop had been regularly selling Naruto expired food, thus he was not without fault. If only Asuma possessed Naruto's resourcefulness, it would have saved me much worry. Hiruzen Sarutobi sighed involuntarily, as Asuma had chosen a different path and disagreed with his own ideas. Consequently, he was regarded as an incompetent individual. Thus, Hiruzen felt the need to pay more attention to his grandson, Konohamaru. Moreover, he saw an opportunity to draw him closer to Naruto and have him learn from his cunning tricks. While he had such thoughts in mind, Naruto within the crystal ball resumed his movements. Sarutobi was stunned. This is my home. The Sarutobi clan mansion was situated not far from the commercial street, enjoying a favorable location within Konoha. Throughout Hiruzen Sarutobi's rule, the clan reaped numerous benefits. However, their accomplishments remained low-key, lacking the same notoriety as the Hyuga clan. Nevertheless, their hidden overall strength surpassed that of many others, making them the true premier clan in Konoha. I was under the impression that he would arrive tomorrow to steal it. This child has astutely discerned Mizuki's intentions and got him to play right into his scheme. While speaking, Hiruzen Sarutobi used a telescope to observe Mizuki. He discovered Mizuki lying foolishly on his bed, lost in a world of dreams where he believed he had attained mastery of the sealed book's ninja techniques. What a waste. No wonder he thought of employing a yet-to-graduate ninja. Disdain and disgust were evident on Hiruzen's face as he commanded an individual hidden in the darkness beside him. Find a way to remind Mizuki and let him know that Naruto has taken action. He needed Mizuki to test Naruto, ascertain the state of the nine-tailed seal, and determine if it could be safely unleashed. Yes, sir. A white Tengu mask emerged from the darkness and swiftly disappeared. Hiruzen Sarutobi averted his gaze from the crystal ball and returned his attention to the partially copied scroll on the table. This young one truly causes me to worry. I thought I had enough time, but it seems I was mistaken. All this work for nothing. He stood up and departed the room, remarking to himself, fortunately, the multiple shadow clone technique is the first entry in the sealed book. Naruto can steal it and learn it, and then the Anbu can intervene. However, I must ensure that the other sealed books are safely stored away, lest young Naruto mistakenly pilfers them. These sealed books contained records of forbidden techniques, including A-level, S-level, and body-damaging ninjutsu. Their numbers were vast, and a single scroll could not contain them all. Moreover, it wasn't a matter of underestimating Naruto on Hiruzen Sarutobi's part. Even if Naruto were given several months to learn other ninjutsu, he wouldn't be able to master them. The exception, of course, was the multiple shadow clone technique, which could be swiftly learned by members of the Uzumaki clan. Hiruzen Sarutobi might have appeared charitable, but Kei's failed to see the kindness. Otherwise, Kei's would have been tempted to voice his thoughts through Naruto's words. An insatiable old man who devoured the resources of his family. Return what rightfully belongs to Naruto and take proper care of the younger generation. It's truly revolting. What are you doing in my house in the middle of the night? Sarutobi questioned. Seduction technique, came the reply. Ah, cried Sarutobi, though the cry was exaggerated. Blood spurted out of his nose and he collapsed to the ground soon after. With an exhilarated smile, Naruto made his way to the bookshelf where the sealed books were kept. At once, his eyes fell upon a prominent nameplate that read, "The sealed book is here." "I found it," Naruto exclaimed without a trace of doubt. He picked up the large scroll stored above the nameplate and strapped it onto his back. Then, he turned and hastily left the mansion. Mizuki, who had received the earlier reminder, had just arrived at the scene. He witnessed Naruto exiting the Sarutobi clan mansion, carrying the scroll on his back. Rage overwhelmed Mizuki, his eyes burning with anger. "You damn fox demon brat. How dare you play me? If Uruka hadn't sent someone to inquire about you, I would have fallen for your deception." Of course, the Uruka Mizuki referred to was a pretense arranged by the Anbu to alert him. Mizuki, having understood the message, promptly headed in Naruto's direction. Observing Naruto's departure, Mizuki realized he had no time to inform Uruka and the other ninjas, as he would have done in the original plot. Additionally, being taunted by a mere child only fueled his fury. Mizuki shadowed Naruto, biding his time until they reached a secluded area. There, he planned to eliminate Naruto and release his pent-up hatred. Kase, where are we going now? Are we returning home?" Naruto inquired eagerly, his excitement palpable in his voice. Kase, casually, responded, "How can we practice ninjutsu at home? We're heading to the Death Forest in the northeast, where there are fewer people." Kase mentioned the location casually, his attention fixed on the list provided by the system. Multiple Shadow Clone Technique. 500 Flying Thunder God Art. 3000 Ito Tensei, partial. 1500 Rasengan. 2000. There are only 4 techniques, but they really are worth stealing. Kase exclaimed, a mixture of excitement and surprise evident in his voice. The blackening value of these techniques shocked Kase. It was dirt cheap. But it was reasonable. There were independent techniques that did not fall under a specified chakra category like the Asura chakra or Nine Tails chakra. Though the chakra requirement for these techniques was significantly high due to the absence of a suitable match, this was inconsequential to the Uzumaki clan's abundant chakra reserves. And even if those reserves fell short, half of the Nine Tails chakra still remained at their disposal. The true challenge lay in the complexity of these techniques. If it weren't for the assistance of Kase's system, learning and mastering these techniques would have proven formidable tasks. Kase had never intended to use the techniques in the sealed book as part of the plan. Instead, he considered them as valuable assets to increase his power and prestige. But the blackening value I have is still not enough. It's frustrating to see these techniques right in front of me, Kase mused, his desire to obtain them burning within him. Kase hoped that Mizuki would provide him with more strength, thereby earning additional blackening value. Even if it wasn't enough to exchange for the Flying Thunder God Art, he could at least obtain a Tail Chakra mode. As Kase predicted, Hiruzen Sarutobi had ordered a white Tengu mask figure to remind Mizuki of Naruto's actions. Mizuki was a test for Naruto, and Kase was well aware of it. He knew the third wouldn't want to miss this chance. Meanwhile, Naruto entered the Death Forest and immediately sought a secluded spot. With anticipation, he unrolled the sealed book and eagerly examined its contents. Multiple Shadow Clone Art, Flying Thunder God Art, Ito Tensei, Rasengan, Naruto read aloud, his excitement soaring. However, he quickly realized that the last 3 techniques were far beyond his comprehension. Undeterred, he decided to focus on learning the Multiple Shadow Clone technique, believing that it would impress his friends during the upcoming exam. Just as Naruto was immersing himself in the technique, he heard Kase's urgent warning. Dodge. Without a second thought, Naruto swiftly evaded a barrage of kunai that whizzed toward him with great force. Naruto exclaimed, a mix of surprise and anger flashing across his face. He turned around quickly, spotting Mizuki standing on a nearby branch, sneering at him. "Mr. Mizuki, what are you doing here?" Naruto questioned, puzzled by his presence. "Wasn't I the one who told you to steal it?" Mizuki retorted, his sneer deepening. Naruto's reminder had irked him to the point of fury, evident from the anger that distorted his eyes and nose. Mizuki, a chunin, had been deceived by a mere child who was still attending the academy. The revelation was nothing short of an enduring source of amusement for all who witnessed it. "You little bastard. Do you really think others can't see through your little trick?" Mizuki seethed, his face contorted with resentment as he jumped down from the tree, his anger palpable. "Hand over the sealed book, and perhaps I'll show you some mercy," he declared, although the murderous intent in his eyes betrayed his true intentions. It was clear that Mizuki intended to play a game of cat and mouse, relishing the opportunity to vent his anger before being discovered. However, Naruto swiftly dismissed his initial shock and anger. Having been warned by Kase beforehand, Naruto knew Mizuki was not to be trusted. His emotions subsided rapidly, replaced by resolve that had been nurtured by Kase's guidance. With a defiant expression on his face, Naruto dashed away, clutching the sealed book tightly. Mizuki's laughter rang out angrily, his visage displaying an icy determination. "You're nothing but a useless brat that nobody wants. Today, I will show you what true ninja skills are," he exclaimed. With those words, Mizuki hurled the large four-horned shuriken from his back, sending it whistling and cutting through the air toward Naruto. In Naruto's conscious world, Kase observed Mizuki with a fierce expression. Sensing the impending danger, he offered, "Naruto, let me take control. You're no match for him." Kase, aware of the unfolding events, recognized that Naruto might lose control of his emotions and go on a rampage. However, Naruto, wary of the potential consequences, refused to relinquish control to Kase. "No, I'm used to being chased by people. He can't catch up with me," Naruto asserted, although his trust and dependence on Kase stood at a mere 33%. This level of trust was not absolute, and could easily waver in times of trouble. Moreover, Naruto feared that Kase might exploit his body to commit acts of violence. As a result, he was determined to avoid surrendering his body to Kase whenever possible. "Besides, we're in the same boat. If I can't defeat him, neither can you," Naruto added confidently. As he spoke, Mizuki closed in from behind, gradually narrowing the distance between them. Being a chunin, it was no challenge for Mizuki to catch up with Naruto, no matter how he attempted to evade him. "You damn fox demon, I'll take your left hand with this strike." Mizuki snarled, his face contorted with ferocity as he lunged towards Naruto, brandishing a kunai aimed at Naruto's left hand. Witnessing the incoming attack, Naruto momentarily hesitated, reaching out to grab hold of the tree trunk and steadying himself. This sudden halt caught Mizuki off guard, his momentum carrying him forward before he leapt away, creating a significant distance between them. Naruto had anticipated the danger throughout the operation, and had mentally prepared himself. Consequently, he did not succumb to overwhelming fear and panic, as depicted in the original plot. He displayed a resilience born from his ability to navigate through various confrontations with Iruka and others. "Haha, what a fool you are." Naruto jeered, taunting Mizuki for his failed attempt to capture him. A group of chunin would usually pursue him and try to intercept him when he went around pranking the villagers. But now, with just Mizuki in pursuit, it would be nothing but wishful thinking to believe he could catch up. Surprisingly, Naruto's mockery didn't incite further rage in him. Instead, he wore a sly smile, observing Naruto as he distanced himself. "Hehehe Naruto, I suddenly realized you're clueless about why everyone hates you, am I right?" Mizuki said, relishing the moment. "Do you know why I call you a repulsive fox demon? Why the villagers despise you?" Mizuki's words halted Naruto in his tracks, filling him with a sense of unease and fear. It seemed as though the following revelation would shatter his understanding of life. Blackening value +2, blackening value +2. Finally Kase, present in Naruto's consciousness, wore a satisfied smile. With a malevolent smile on his face, Mizuki slithered forward like a venomous snake. "That's because you're the fox demon from 12 years ago," he declared with cruel satisfaction. What did you say?" Naruto froze, his body trembling uncontrollably. Overwhelmed by confusion and apprehension, he stared ahead, his eyes vacant. "Blackening value +20, blackening value +30. I'm the nine-tailed demon fox." Naruto's voice faltered as he collapsed backward, landing on the ground with a dazed expression. The realization dawned upon him. He had heard tales of the Nine Tails Rebellion, where a malevolent fox demon had ravaged the village, claiming numerous lives. Finally, the villagers' scornful gazes and treatment began to make sense. "No, it can't be true. I'm not a fox demon. I'm Uzumaki Naruto." Naruto's desperate denial filled the air, his voice quivering with anguish. Mizuki, who had resumed his pursuit, wore a triumphant grin. He refused to let Naruto off the hook. "If you're not the demon fox who destroyed the village, why do people hate and despise you?" he sneered. "If you're not the demon fox who destroyed the village, why has no one ever told you about your parents? Go ahead, touch your cheeks. Can you feel the whiskers, the markings of the fox?" Blackening value +40 with a swift motion, Mizuki closed the gap between them. He seized Naruto by the neck, lifting him effortlessly, while his other hand snatched the sealed book from Naruto's grasp. "You repugnant demon fox. The village raised you, the third Hokage raised you, only to use you as a weapon." Mizuki's voice dripped with venom. "Even Iruka, who treated you kindly, lost his parents tragically because of you. Just think, while he acted friendly, deep down, he must have thought, disgusting fox demon, if it weren't for Hokage-sama's orders, I would tear you apart, or perhaps, this damned fox demon, why wouldn't you just die? Blackening value plus 50. No, that's not true, I'm not a fox demon. Naruto's voice trembled as he desperately denied the truth, clinging to his own identity amidst the overwhelming revelation. Meanwhile, Mizuki, who had retrieved the scroll from Naruto, wore an expression of triumphant vengeance. Awake to reality, Naruto. Everyone wishes for your demise, Mizuki sneered sadistically. With the scroll securely strapped to his back, Mizuki held a kunai in his right hand. Everyone's desires will be fulfilled today. Now, go to hell. Mizuki's kunai descended with lethal intent, aimed directly at Naruto's forehead. Keiz watched the spectacle silently before whispering to himself, system, switch personalities. The main personality has completely lost control and collapsed. Personality switch successful. Current blackening value 3920 with an iron grip, a small hand clasped Mizuki's arm tightly. Oh? Are you going to send me to hell? Inside Sarutobi Mansion, Hiruzen Sarutobi wore a grim expression as he clenched a dry cigarette between his teeth. That fool Mizuki must have a death wish, daring to manipulate Naruto and me, he muttered, regretting his decision to let Mizuki test Naruto. In hindsight, he realized he should have sent an Anbu operative disguised as an enemy instead. But it was too late for regrets now. He would have to find a way to mend this relationship later. Naruto would be mad that he hid the truth. Fortunately, Naruto was despised by everyone in the village as the only light in Naruto's life full of darkness. Sarutobi believed he could manipulate the situation to his advantage. Now, let's witness if Naruto will lose control and, if so, whether he can master that power. Don't disappoint me, Naruto on the other side. No, Keiz silently took control of Naruto's body. A chilling, murderous intent emanated from his eyes. Even the ambient temperature plummeted to freezing levels. Naruto was not the only one affected by Mizuki's recent words. Despair, fear, unease, confusion, and self-blame all coursed through Keiz. Memories of a dark and painful past flooded his heart like tidal waves. It was this very turmoil that caused his blackening value to skyrocket by over 3200 in just a few minutes. I never expected you have so much hidden strength. Despite his tightly bound right hand, Mizuki showed no signs of panic. He knew this was just a last struggle from a soon-to-be dead kid. As for breaking free from the seal and unleashing the demon fox's power, ridiculous. If it were possible to break the seal from within, it would have been shattered long ago. He had to rupture the external vessel for the demon fox to break free from the seal. Once the demon fox was unleashed, no one would care if he escaped. Is this the scent of the real world? I truly missed it. After inhaling deeply, savoring the fragrance of the surrounding trees, Keiz once again focused his gaze upon Mizuki. A tyrannical, murderous intent flickered in his eyes. His grip on Mizuki's arm grew tighter, inching toward a crushing grip. You were just smiling so contentedly a moment ago. As the words left his lips, a message from the system also arrived. Exchange to Jutsu, Iruka, -50 exchange to Jutsu, Mizuki, -60 exchange delete to Jutsu, Sarutobi Hiruzen, -800. The exchange to Jutsu includes physical fitness, but as the third Hokage is old, his physical strength has deteriorated to elite Jonin, current blackening value. 3010 initially, Keiz had planned to directly exchange for the chakra mode of the one-tailed beast. However, he ultimately abandoned that option. He was uncertain about the intentions of the third Hokage, and he had no intention of fleeing Konoha, only to be pursued by the covetous eyes of Akatsuki and other villages. Thus, he decided to endure for the time being and follow the timeline of the original plot. When the time came to reach the Land of Waves, he would use his rampage to acquire the power of the Nine Tails. For now, per the original plan, he exchanged for the panacea of physical prowess. How is this possible? Feeling a tremendous force and excruciating pain surging through his arm, Mizuki's expression finally lost its complacency. He cast a distorted gaze upon Naruto, who appeared completely transformed. Are you the demon? Before he could even utter the word fox, a resounding crack pierced the air. The cries of agony reverberated through the night sky. Keiz had forcefully ripped off Mizuki's arm after the body swap. The limb dangled at an unnatural 90-degree angle. With one arm crippled, Mizuki swiftly reacted. His remaining hand, previously gripping Keiz's neck, quickly recoiled, attempting to tighten its grip once again. Filthy demon fox, die. Crack. Another bone-shattering sound echoed. Mizuki's arm, which had been squeezing Keiz's neck, flew into the air. Meanwhile, Keiz stood there, sporting a bloodthirsty smile. The kunai dripped with blood clutched tightly in his hand. Blackening value +2, blackening value +3 this time. It seemed that the joy of revenge had returned, hadn't it? With these thoughts in mind, Kei's advanced toward Mizuki, his smile gleaming brightly. Mr. Mizuki, you truly are feeble. You fail to arouse anyone's interest. An elite Jonin level 2 jutsu master pitted against an educated chunin, truly an overwhelming difference of strength. Mizuki, who had fallen to the ground, could feel the stark contrast in power before. He also sensed a transformation in Naruto's demeanor. Though Naruto had been detestable at first, his eyes still held traces of childlike innocence and kindness. Yet, Kei's, radiating violent murderous intent and deep resentment, was as terrifying as a malevolent spirit from the depths of hell. Mizuki's realization triggered an overwhelming sense of fear, despair, and regret. His face contorted with these emotions. You're not Naruto, you're the fox. You've broken through the seal. Hahaha, the nine tails. Kei's erupted into laughter, his face conveying an unadulterated sense of amusement. The nine tails wouldn't waste time chatting with you or playing games. Playing games. Mizuki's eyes, initially filled with gloom, now revealed a glimmer of hope. So, it wasn't a fox demon after all, just a love-deprived child. I'll play with you. We can play whatever game you want. Just let me go. Kei's didn't respond directly to Mizuki. Ignoring the plea, he approached a gnarled, ominous tree and tapped its trunk with his kunai, sending shivers down Mizuki's spine. An eerie smile stretched across Kei's face, distorting his features into something otherworldly. Let's indulge in a little game of ghost hunting, Mizuki, he whispered, his voice dripping with wickedness. If I count to 100 and fail to capture you, you'll win. Mizuki's heart pounded in his chest as the sinister nature of the wager became clear. But remember, the price you pay for victory is your very life, Kei's added, his childlike words now laced with venomous malice that made Mizuki's blood run cold. Driven by a desperate yearning to survive, Mizuki pushed aside his fear and mustered the strength to rise, despite the searing pain of his severed hand. 199.98, Kei's counting voice echoed through the darkness, intensifying Mizuki's dread. But in the next instant, a bone-chilling gust of wind cut through the air behind him. Swish. Mizuki could feel the sharp edge of the kunai graze his back, leaving behind a searing, burning sensation that seeped into every fiber of his being. 75, 74, 73, the relentless counting drowned out Mizuki's agonized cries, leaving him paralyzed with terror. With gritted teeth, he forced his trembling legs to move, desperately trying to escape the clutches of this sadistic game. Swish. Another icy gust tore through the air, like a harbinger of doom. Mizuki's right leg shattered at its root, causing him to crumple onto the ground, writhing in unbearable agony. 4039.38, Kei's counting became a macabre dirge, pushing Mizuki to his limits. With tears streaming down his face, Mizuki summoned every ounce of his strength, dragging himself forward using only his chin, a grisly testament to his determination to survive. Just a little further, only until 20. I'm still alive, I will not succumb. His ears strained to catch the dwindling counts, while his eyes remained fixed on the path ahead, a flicker of hope fueling his fervent desire for life. 3-2, the voice that reached Mizuki's ears triggered a glimmer of relief, the prospect of escaping becoming tangible. Yet, the final count never came. Instead, a deafening silence engulfed the scene, broken only by the sickening sound of a kunai plunging through Mizuki's chest from behind. Mr. Mizuki, you have lost, Kei's taunted, his voice dripping with sadistic triumph. Pain radiated through Mizuki's body, his gasps for air growing shallow and ragged. I haven't lost. He whispered through clenched teeth, his determination refusing to waver. His gaze shifted to the distant horizon, a flicker of defiance still burning within him, even as life slipped away. Blackening value plus 100 current blackening value. 3300. Kei's revenge against Mizuki had earned him an additional 290 blackening points. But there were consequences, both positive and negative. At this moment, Naruto also regained consciousness. He experienced a mix of emotions, initially feeling a sense of satisfaction with Mizuki's demise. However, his compassionate side quickly overpowered this sentiment. Kei's, you've taken a life. You killed Mr. Mizuki. You promised not to use my body to harm others. Naruto was simultaneously excited and terrified at this juncture. Excitement stemmed from realizing Kei's immense strength, surpassing even that of their Chunin sensei. It implied that Naruto possessed such power, but for some reason, he could not utilize it. Yet, fear arose from witnessing the somewhat gruesome and alarming manner in which Kei's tortured and killed Mizuki. Naruto didn't want Kei's to devolve into a deranged murder, forfeiting their friendship. Rather, he desired for Kei's to exhibit the same amiable and gentle nature that defined Naruto's character. The dominant personality depends on the trust value. 20%. Kei's had already anticipated a decline in the trust value's dependence. However, the drop wasn't as significant as expected, remaining at 20%. This suggested that Kase had secured a favorable position within Naruto's heart. I didn't engage in wanton killing. Even if I had taken no action against the traitor Mizuki, the village would have dealt with him eventually. After casually explaining himself, Kase reached out to retrieve the book Mizuki had concealed. Naruto reluctantly accepted this explanation. Forget it, I'll forgive you, you saved us after all. Forgive me. Kase's smile wavered, his brows furrowing slightly. However, he refrained from expressing further thoughts. He didn't have any good intentions toward Naruto anyway. Naruto failed to perceive any irregularities in Kase's emotional state. On the contrary, upon noticing the sealed book in Kase's possession, Naruto suddenly recalled that he hadn't completed his ninjutsu training. He promptly exclaimed, "Kase, return the control of my body to me." There was no room for Kase to refuse or resist. A powerful suction force emerged, pulling his consciousness downward. In the next moment, their roles were reversed. Naruto reappeared in the physical world, assuming control of the body, while Kase retreated to the empty realm of consciousness. Wow. This is incredible. I just wished for it, and it happened instantaneously. This marked Naruto's first active switch of personalities, leaving him brimming with excitement. Yet, the realization of forcibly wresting control from Kase prompted immediate remorse. I'm sorry, Kase. Once I get home, I'll let you out so you can catch your breath. Now, I must focus on mastering the multiple shadow clone technique, and then return this book. Knowing that he could reclaim his body at any time, Naruto felt unafraid of temporarily surrendering control. Primary personality's dependence on trust value. 30 Alright, I'll remember what you've said. If Kase could surface more frequently to regain some freedom, he wouldn't reject the opportunity. Besides, increased visibility might allow him to make certain arrangements. Remaining a secondary personality for an extended period within the confines of consciousness was never Kase's intention. Ninjutsu mastered successfully. Multiple shadow clone technique. While Kase contemplated potential arrangements, Naruto outside successfully mastered the multiple shadow clone technique. Naturally, he couldn't resist attempting it. After a series of hand seals, the woodland area became inundated with numerous Naruto clones. What a powerful ninjutsu. I feel as though I could take on 2 Mizuki-senseis now. Gazing at his multitude of clones, Naruto couldn't contain his delight, using Mizuki as a benchmark for his newfound strength. Just as Naruto reveled in his accomplishment and contemplated how to showcase his abilities the next day, a surprised voice interrupted his thoughts. It was Iruka, standing on a branch behind him. Naruto. There are so many Narutos. Is it the multiple shadow clone technique? Iruka exclaimed in astonishment. Ah, it's Iruka-sensei. Naruto and his clones turned their heads simultaneously, spotting Iruka with a bewildered expression. Iruka-sensei, the third Hokage sent you late. I've already learned a new ninjutsu. I'll return this book to you, and you can use it to deal with the third Hokage. Naruto declared, tossing the sealed book to Iruka. Naruto's physical form swiftly departed, leaving behind a horde of clones blocking Iruka's path. As he walked away, Naruto shouted, and there's also Mr. Mizuki. He betrayed me and tried to kill me to seize this book. But I've become stronger, so I killed him. Teacher, please remember to explain it to the third Hokage. Iruka's pupils contracted upon hearing Naruto's words. He was momentarily dumbfounded, forgetting to chase after Naruto in his initial shock. Mizuki planned to kill you, but you killed him, Iruka stammered, attempting to process the magnitude of the event that had just transpired. Naruto, wait a moment. Please explain to me what happened. Iruka, now regaining his composure, sought to catch up with Naruto. However, Naruto's clones impeded his path, while also revealing Mizuki's lifeless body lying on the ground. It really is Mizuki. Naruto, you've taken revenge after enduring his torment for 2 years. Iruka, stepping forward to examine the scene, froze in place. Mizuki's gruesome demise left him in a state of shock. Fear and unease emanated from Naruto's eyes as he observed Iruka's reaction. It was akin to the way people looked at monsters or how they had stared at the Nine Tails 12 years ago. After perceiving the expression on Iruka's face, Naruto's countenance darkened, confirming what Mizuki had previously disclosed. Deep within Iruka's heart, there was both fear and resentment directed towards Naruto. Meanwhile, Iruka, noticing Naruto's reaction, realized his misjudgment. He desperately attempted to explain himself, but was interrupted by a series of thuds. Naruto, who had escaped, dispersed his clones. No, I have to find Naruto and explain everything clearly. Contemplating the responsibility entrusted to him by the third Hokage to care for Naruto, Iruka mustered his courage and prepared to pursue him. However, before he could take a single step, an Anbu member emerged from the shadows. There's no need to go after him. Your mission from Hokage-sama has failed. Return the sealed book, and the Hokage will decide whether to continue the mission, the masked Anbu member instructed. Having witnessed the exchange between Naruto and Iruka, and perceiving the alienation in Naruto's eyes, the ANBU member concluded that Iruka's role in looking after Naruto had not been successful, and it would be unwise to persist. I was just scared, I didn't mean any harm. Iruka attempted to explain, but the ANBU member paid little attention. The ANBU member, disregarding Iruka's pleas, swiftly retrieved Mizuki's lifeless body and disappeared from sight. Naruto, Iruka whispered, gazing in the direction Naruto had vanished. After a moment of hesitation, he let out a deep sigh and turned to run in the opposite direction. In the end, he chose not to pursue Naruto for an explanation or offer any consolation. Mizuki's gruesome death lingered in his mind, eroding the sympathy he once felt for Naruto's orphaned upbringing. The fear within Iruka overwhelmed any sense of compassion. As Iruka departed, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage, stood in the corridor of his mansion, hands clasped behind his back. He called out from the darkness, addressing the ANBU member who had just reported the events. "Tell me everything that happened tonight and the changes in Naruto," Hiruzen commanded. While the telescopic technique provided a clear visual, he desired a detailed account of the dialogue and any other overlooked details. "Yes, Hokage-sama," the masked figure replied, emerging from the shadows and kneeling respectfully. The ANBU began recounting the events, mirroring what Hiruzen had observed, but with additional information about Naruto's transformation after being choked by Mizuki. Hiruzen furrowed his brows, absorbing the new details. From his vantage point, it appeared that Naruto retaliated against Mizuki with a display of impressive strength. However, the ANBU member's account suggested that something changed within Naruto when he was strangled. Sensing Hiruzen's confusion, the ANBU member continued, "It seemed as though Naruto became a different person after Mizuki released his grip. Though, his voice was barely audible, drowned out by Mizuki's cries of pain." Hiruzen's mind raced, analyzing the implications. He had always been aware of the 9 tails sealed within Naruto, and the incident with Mizuki might have triggered a transformation or tapped into the beast's power. The situation grew increasingly complex. With a sigh, Hiruzen made a decision. "Continue to monitor Naruto closely. Report any further developments to me immediately. We must understand the truth behind this change." The ANBU member nodded in acknowledgement before retreating into the shadows. Hiruzen stood in the corridor, his mind filled with questions. Naruto didn't surprise attack Mizuki, rather, he confronted him directly with ruthless force. It resembled a cat playing with its prey, toying with Mizuki's hope before shattering it with his own hands. This approach starkly contrasted with the naivety of a schoolboy. However, these details were not the most crucial. The pivotal moment occurred when Naruto, seized by the neck and fighting back, uttered 2 sentences that revealed the truth. "Is this the breath of the real world? And I really missed it." These sentences, though brief, provided significant information, indicating that Naruto was not fully himself at that moment. Consequently, the question arose. What else resided within Naruto's being? The answer became apparent: the 9 tails. It couldn't have been Minato or Kushina. Contemplating this, Hiruzen Sarutobi mused, his face clouded with concern. "Did you notice the presence of 9 tails chakra at that time?" After thoughtful consideration, the ANBU replied firmly, "No. Naruto was relying solely on his physical skills, and we did not detect any chakra fluctuations." Sarutobi's brows furrowed deeper as he pondered the absence of 9 tails chakra. "I understand, you may leave now," he gestured. The ANBU bowed and disappeared from sight. 9 tails without the chakra. Sarutobi mused. Could it be that the 9 tails consciousness slipped out of the seal, but its chakra remained confined? Naruto's condition was truly perplexing to Hiruzen Sarutobi. Nevertheless, the absence of 9 tails chakra seemed to be a positive outcome, alleviating concerns about the seal being breached and losing control over the 9 tails. It also indicated the continued safety of the seal. Thus, Naruto, possessing the power of a tailed beast, could unleash and employ it without worry. While contemplating Naruto's situation, Hiruzen Sarutobi's thoughts shifted to another matter. He turned and walked back to his desk in the room, retrieving a thin envelope from the drawer beneath the copybook. "I wonder if Mizuki's words had any effect on Naruto," he muttered. His death was undeservingly merciful. And Iruka, incapable of handling such a minor task, a truly disappointing individual. Sarutobi sighed, realizing that he had to handle matters himself. In a soft whisper, he continued, "Now I must clean up this mess." With these words, he put on his coat. However, before leaving, he hesitated, clutching the thin envelope. After a brief moment, he returned to the desk, extracting a small stack of 100 Ryo bills from the drawer, and inserting them into the envelope. The small stack, along with the bills already inside, transformed the envelope into something more substantial, no longer feeling thin when held. Satisfaction appeared on Sarutobi's face as he picked up his Hokage hat and made his way out of the gate. A series of knocks resounded shortly after Naruto returned home, still brimming with excitement. Someone knocking. Could it be time to receive my living expenses again? Ordinarily, Naruto's door only rang when Sarutobi Hiruzen sent someone to deliver his living expenses. Considering the time, there should still be half a month remaining, Naruto mumbled, trotting over to open the door. To his surprise, he found Hiruzen Sarutobi standing outside with a kind smile on his face. "Grandpa Hokage," Naruto exclaimed, taken aback. Hiruzen Sarutobi was the most significant person in the village for him, a figure akin to a grandfather, the closest person he had. "I've come to see you, Naruto," Hiruzen Sarutobi said, his tone soft, as if regarding Naruto as his own grandson. "Won't you invite me in?" Naruto quickly stepped aside, filled with joy that the third Hokage had come to visit him. It seemed that his prank of stealing things earlier had successfully captured attention. As Naruto welcomed him inside, he couldn't help but recall Mizuki's words from before. The surprise on his face froze, and a mix of complex emotions filled his gaze as he looked at Hiruzen Sarutobi. Damn Mizuki. He truly died a merciful death. Observing the change in Naruto's expression, Hiruzen Sarutobi couldn't help but silently curse Mizuki once again. However, he maintained a concerned and caring expression on his face, unaffected by his internal thoughts. "Naruto, I heard about what happened tonight. Are you injured?" Hiruzen Sarutobi's words matched the worry in his eyes, genuinely appearing like a grandfather concerned for his grandson's safety. How hypocritical and disgusting, Kase, observing the scene from his consciousness, felt a tinge of disgust. However, he refrained from intervening or revealing the true face of Sarutobi Hiruzen to Naruto. "Grandpa Hokage, I'm fine. I didn't get hurt at all," Naruto assured him, shaking his body to demonstrate his strength. Hiruzen Sarutobi gently touched Naruto's head, his expression momentarily darkening as he felt a hint of remorse in his eyes. "Naruto, I know you have suffered greatly all these years. Now that you're growing up, there are some things you should know." Fearing that Naruto might hold a grudge, Hiruzen Sarutobi decided it was time to explain, believing his previous manipulation had been effective. Naruto, however, displayed no signs of resentment toward Hiruzen Sarutobi or the village. It seemed that the brainwashing and manipulation had worked better than Danzo's curse seal could ever achieve. "I don't believe Mizuki's words at all," Naruto interrupted, his voice tinged with a hint of anxiety. "Actually, you don't have to." Understanding Naruto's concerns, Hiruzen Sarutobi's smile widened. However, since he had already spoken, he couldn't retract his words. With a serious expression, he continued, every word carrying weight. "Naruto, you are not the nine-tailed demon fox. You are a real person, a ninja from Konoha village." "I'm not a nine-tailed demon fox." Naruto stood frozen, disbelief etched across his face as he stared at Sandai. "But everyone hates me, and nobody has ever told me about my parents." Mizuki's words left a deep impression on Naruto's heart, leading him to accept the belief that he was indeed a demon fox. "That's because everybody doesn't know the truth, including Mizuki," Hiruzen Sarutobi gently reassured Naruto, his hand once again finding its weight in Naruto's head. 12 years ago, the fourth Hokage sealed the Kyuubi inside you at the cost of his own life. "You are not a nine-tailed demon fox," Sarutobi explained, hoping to alleviate Naruto's doubts. "I'm not a demon fox, I'm not a demon fox." Tears welled up in the corners of Naruto's eyes, but they were not tears of sadness. They were tears of joy and relief. Mizuki's words had placed an immense burden on Naruto's shoulders, and now, discovering the truth, he couldn't control his emotions. Seeing Naruto cry, Hiruzen Sarutobi shook his head with a smile. Once Naruto's tears subsided, he continued his explanation. "Naruto, all the pain and suffering you've endured over the years were trials, tests to help you master the power of the nine-tailed demon fox," Sarutobi said, his voice filled with sincerity. Naruto sniffled and asked with a mixture of curiosity and confusion, "Why me? Why not someone else?" Hiruzen Sarutobi anticipated this question and answered, his expression showing his understanding. "Because you possess the qualities needed, and because we believe in you. The fourth Hokage and I firmly believe that you have the potential to control the power of the nine-tailed demon fox, to prevent it from harming innocent people," he added, emphasizing their unwavering belief in Naruto. And that concludes this episode. If you enjoyed it, I'd seriously love it if you guys could leave a like on the video, as it genuinely helps out so much, and it keeps me going, plus it takes only 1 second. That said, have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.